shirts and stuff tonight. It is unseasonably sweltering here in Los Angeles. It's hot, right, Guillermo?
Yeah, mucho caliente, mucho hot.
That means, for our bilingual viewers, that means it's hot.
It's hot, mucho caliente, yes.
Right. But even though the air is thick with humidity, we can breathe a little easier tonight because Donald Trump is out of the country. He is... Our parents left the house. Trump is in the UK, or as he has to be reminded not to call it, the UC. Paddington Unbearable is in England for an official visit with the royal family. Wait till he finds out tea time has nothing to do with golf. He's going to be very upset. The royals are expected to greet the president and first lady tomorrow, but some clever Brits are already rolling out, well, I wouldn't call it a red carpet exactly, but rather a King Kong-sized photo of Trump with his buddy Jeffrey Epstein. This is right outside Windsor Castle, where the Trumps will be staying. Melania, don't look out the window. You don't want to... That sign, which, by the way, really put Kinko's to the test, is especially timely because this trip he's taking was planned by the UK ambassador to Washington, a guy named Peter Mandelson, who was fired last week when they found out he wrote one of the letters in the Jeffrey Epstein birthday book, which means Pete will not be there for the visit he planned, which is too bad. He and Trump would have had a lot of gross things to talk about, I'm sure, but... This morning, Trump warmed up for his date with the British press by yelling at a reporter from Australia who dared to ask about the billions of dollars he's been raking in since the election.
President Trump that a president in office should be engaged in so much business activity.
Well, I'm really not. My kids are running the business. I'm here. You know what the activity, where are you from?
I'm from the Australian Broadcasting Corporation, Four Corners program.
Well, the Australians, you're hurting Australia, right? In my opinion, you are hurting Australia very much right now. And they want to get along with me. You know, your leader is coming over to see me very soon. I'm going to tell him about you. You set a very bad tone. Well, go ahead, John.
What a little tattletale he is. I mean, gonna tell his prime minister on him? I'm gonna tell him you said mean things and you're gonna be in trouble. He needs to make a decision. You want to be a dictator or just a dick? Because you can't... He also spent some time bragging about his $200 million ballroom again. He said it's going to be the greatest ballroom anywhere in the world. Oh, how exhilarating for all of us. He's so excited for these balls, he can taste them. Trump claims he's going to pay for some of the costs of the ballroom as a gift to us, which, thank you very much. We'll never be in it, but thank you very much. And he's already figured out where to get the money. Trump today became the first president to sue the New York Times. He's suing the New York Times for $15 billion for defamation. $15 billion. Where does he even come up? These are like numbers my children make up when they're talking about money. I thought he said the New York Times was failing. He thinks they have $15 billion? How much would he sue for if he thought they were doing well? Trump announced the suit this morning. He wrote, "Today I have the great honor of bringing a $15 billion defamation and libel lawsuit against the New York Times, one of the worst and most degenerate newspapers in the history of our country. The Times has engaged in a decades-long method of lying about your favorite president, me, my family business, the America First movement, MAGA, and our nation as a whole. The New York Times has been allowed to freely lie, smear, and defame me for far too long, and that stops now." And then he follows it with, "This suit is being brought in the great state of Florida." Uh-oh. And will be heard by Judge Dog the Bounty Hunter, my new appointee. Trump is, he won't win this. And the New York Times won't settle. Trump says the Times is run by a bunch of lefties. He claims they're a mouthpiece for the Democrats. And I have to say, I did do today's Wordle, and I don't know if you did, but he might be right. Besides how ridiculous it is, this might be one of the funniest legal documents I've ever seen. It's quite a tongue bath. One page lists Trump's, quote, hundreds of history-making media appearances, including WrestleMania 5, All My Children, Ghost Can't Do It, 2 Weeks Notice, Days of Our Lives, Miss USA, Miss Universe, The Ali G Show, Marmalade, and much, much more. This is quite a resume. You know he met Melania on 90 Day Fiancé. It's in the... In addition to the Times, He's also filing another frivolous lawsuit against the publisher and authors of this book, Lucky Loser: How Donald Trump Squandered His Father's Fortune and Created the Illusion of Success. A book I had never heard of until today, but will now be ordering for every member of my family. Maybe, you know what? Maybe it'll become a New York Times bestseller and he could sue them both again. And it's not just writers the president's trying to silence. He's ordered our national parks to remove a number of signs and exhibits related to slavery. He's rewriting history in the United States. From now on, under Donald Trump, slaves will be referred to as tourists who volunteered to help white people do stuff. No, that was a joke. That wasn't, it's not real. You never know, right? I mean, he's also sending the National Guard into Memphis, where crime is at a 25-year low. What will happen when we actually need the National Guard? Will we have to call in the Eagle Scouts? Meanwhile, many in MAGAland are working very hard to capitalize on the murder of Charlie Kirk. Yesterday, J.D. Vance, who himself famously called Donald Trump America's Hitler, hosted the Charlie Kirk podcast from the White House, where he pointed his little mascara-stained finger directly at the left.
While our side of the aisle certainly has its crazies, it is a statistical fact that most of the lunatics in American politics today are proud members of the far left.
Right. And by statistical fact, he means complete bullshit is what he means. So much so that the Department of Justice just removed a study that showed white supremacy and violence from far-right groups is the greatest source of domestic terror and extremist violence in the United States. Here's a question J.D. Vance might be able to answer. Who wanted to hang the guy who was vice president before you? Was that the liberal left or the toothless army who stormed the Capitol on January 6th? The president and his henchmen are doing their best to fan the flames so they can, I guess, attack people on the dangerous left. Which is it? Are they a bunch of sissy pickleball players because they're too scared to get hit by tennis balls, or a well-organized, deadly team of commandos? Because they can't be both of those things. There's a guy on Newsmax, which if you haven't seen it, is really funny. It's like a low-rent Fox News. There's a guy named Carl Higbie, who at first glance you would think is a comedian playing a right-wing news anchor. Sadly, he is all real.
Like my conservative brothers and sisters, it is us versus them. They will never get along with us, but they want us to show tolerance for them while they just scream and insult us. Done. We're not doing that anymore. We're not taking it anymore. I have no interest in tolerating your views because, you guys are radical. My mother-in-law is banned from my house.
That came out of nowhere. His mother-in-law isn't even a Democrat. He just doesn't like her. It was just Boy, what a difference an election makes. 2 years ago, these meatheads couldn't shut up about the First Amendment. Now they want to skip right to the second. Elon Musk, who was so angry about conservative voices being silenced that he bought Twitter and turned it into excrement, said, the left is the party of murder. And Eric Trump was on Fox and Friends waxing poetic about Charlie Kirk's relationship with his dad.
If you look at where he's created and the movement that he's built today, it's exactly what he described to me 10 years ago. And he became, obviously, dear friends with Don's. He became, that's right, probably a second son to my father.
Wait, I thought you were the second son to your father. I mean, I'm starting to feel bad for Eric. This poor guy might need somebody to adopt him. In Washington today, the Senate Judiciary Committee grilled FBI Director Kash Patel.
It's an honor to be here with you today as the 9th Director of the FBI to bring this fugitive to justice. We have also arrested, this may be the most important part, about to face charges at the same time last year. Ongoing investigations, that crime's free, and we're going to keep going. Lastly, I want to close with
the Kash Patel Senate hearings, brought to you by Flonase. Psst, psst, all good.
You know what? Don't make fun. Allergies are seasonal and serious. So Patel was summoned to explain why they refused to release the Epstein files they promised to release. He was dodgy, sketchy, sniffy, combative, and just unpleasant overall. He couldn't even answer a question from fellow Republican John Kennedy.
Who, if anyone, did Epstein traffic these young women to besides himself?
Himself. There is no credible information. None. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday.
Forget yesterday. How about tomorrow? We would take... He still has no explanation for why they won't release the files, and no explanation for why Epstein's primary accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, was suddenly transferred to a country club prison after meeting with Trump's lawyer. Eventually, though, frustration boiled over, and Senator Cory Booker didn't just grill Patel, he flame-broiled him live in front of everyone.
Here's the thing, Mr. Patel. I think you're not going to be around long. I think this might be your last oversight hearing. Because as much as you supplicate yourself to the will of Donald Trump and not the Constitution of the United States of America, Donald Trump has shown us in his first term and in this term, he is not loyal to people like you. He will cut you loose. This may be the last time I have a hearing with you because I don't think you're long for your job. But I'm going to tell you this. I pray for you. I pray for you that you can step up and defend your oath, defend the Constitution, and do a much better job of defending this country. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
And he grounded him for 2 weeks with no TV. The House Oversight Committee today released another batch of Epstein documents, or as Trump calls them, fake documents, unless they exonerate him, in which case, real documents. That's how you can tell. But Kash Patel, I'm not sure he even has the Epstein files to release. I have a feeling Trump put them like on top of a refrigerator where he can't reach them or something. But if he ever does get them, I think he should literally take a page out of his boss's playbook and offer them for sale.
I just got a page from the Epstein files.
I got one too.
And you won't believe who's on the list.
FBI Director and self-published children's book author Kash Patel is liquidating the Epstein files. Get your official page at cashforfiles.com. Simply put $1,000 in an underinsured envelope that we provide at no extra cost, and 2 weeks later, you'll get an original, unredacted page from the Epstein files. Guaranteed to include the name of at least one public figure.
I got British royal family member Prince and hey, I got platinum recording artist Dick.
And I got current President Donald J. and it only cost me 2 months' rent.
Pay cash and get a one-of-a-kind heirloom you and your family will treasure for years to come. So what are you waiting for? Go to cashforfiles.com today. First 100 orders get a bonus gift. Government evidence that there is life on other planets.
A Martian penis!
Guillermo, do you know how many subscribers we have on YouTube now?
20 million.
That's right, yeah, that's why we're wearing these glasses. Thanks for being a subscriber. If you're not, help us get to 20,000,001.